Hello, everyone. So today we're going over One Piece Chapter 17, titled Difference in Level. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more daily One Piece content. Hopefully, you guys enjoy this review. So the chapter kind of starts off with Luffy, Nami, and Zoro chilling at top of an island where penguins are the ones leading it. So Luffy's high fiving a penguin wearing a captain's outfit. Nami is basically getting what I assume proposed to by a penguin that's also, funny enough, wearing orange, and he's proposing to her with a fish. And Zoro's in the back laughing as he has three penguins all wearing bandanas, holding each of his three blades. Pretty funny cover art, and I kind of like this. So on to the main chapter. So we start off with Zoro and Kabaji just staring off against each other. Zoro has seems to have blood dripping all the way down his body and like even onto the floor and across his pant legs. And now he just kind of says, just looking at him makes me feel like he's gonna collapse any second. And Luffy just instead just ignores it, saying, "Go Zoro!" And then Zoro just sits there saying, "To anyone that calls himself a swordsman, I won't allow myself to lose even once to him." And then Kabaji like pulls out a sword and kind of says, "Oh, you got a strong determination here. But don't worry, fighting me with such a serious injury, you can use that as an excuse when I defeat you." And Zoro just kind of stands there and says, "Nonsense. With this sort of injury, if I lose against the likes of you, my future carries an obvious fate." And Kabaji just kind of sits there, just kind of shocked, and with sweat being on his face, he's like, "You asshole." And Buggy just kind of sits there and he's just kind of like pondering, just da 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 da. And then now he just kind of pats Luffy on the shoulder and says, "Hey." And Luffy's like, "Hmm?" And then now he just kind of points to like the wreckage of the pub, saying, "Behind the destroyed pub, there's a warehouse. Their treasure is there, and the Grand Line map is probably still at Buggy." And Namika is just saying, "Since the pirates are still unconscious, I'll use the moment to slip over there, and after I acquire the warehouse treasure, I'll make my escape. Whether you win the fight or not has nothing to do with me." And now he just kind of finishes saying, "But if you actually manage to fulfill your part and get the map, let's cooperate again when that happens." And I just kind of like waves his hands. "Then I should go. I wish you a good fight." And Luffy just kind of turns. And all he has to just says is, "Okay, thanks." Luffy's just like just like a nonchalant character. He just doesn't care whether or not he's just like doesn't have like details just to be comprehended or he's just being Luffy. But the fight continues on. So Kabaji just sits there like on top of his unicycle holding multiple tops, and he says, "Take a taste of the best trick that I have." And he stops big, and Zoro and Buggy are just kind of like dot 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 dot. They're just like, "What the hell is he gonna do again?" As Kabaji just kind of like yells out, "Acrobat technique, 100 top Typhoon." And Zoro's just kind of like shocked by this as he just sees like all the tops spinning at him. And then Kabaji uses another one saying acrobat technique, wall riding, where he's basically just like riding up a wall with his unicycle. And as Zoro just kind of like is like deflecting all of the tops, he just kind of like his main focus he's looking straight. Because he then suddenly shifts looking up as he just hears Kabaji yell, "Acrobat technique, midsummer firecracker ignition." And then even Luffy looks over, he's like, "Wow, that's high." And Zoro's just sitting here, just like, "What is he doing?" And then he just kind of like is on top of his unicycle with like his sword pointing directly down. He yells, "Direct stab," as he just begins to fall all the way down. And then Buggy just sits there and just kind of like holds up his hand. And then he just yells, "Ground runner, bara bara cannon," as he fires off his hand to try to to grab Zoro as Kabachi is falling all the way down. And then Buggy just kind of yells like what the plan is. He's basically like, "Kabachi, I'll grab a place, so finish Zoro off." And Kabachi yells, "Yes, Captain," with a huge smile on his face. And the Zoro just sits there, is like, "That's faster," as a hand just comes flying, but Luffy stomps on the hand. And Buggy's just in pure pain from this. So yeah, so it basically just confirms that like, yeah, Buggy can split off his body, however, he still feels like pain even with like his appendages like away from him. So that's some valuable information. His Zoro just sits there, just like, "Luffy," and Luffy just looks up with a grin, saying, "Don't interfere with Zoro's fight." And Buggy's like, "You asshole." And Zoro's like, "Oh." And then Kabaji yells, "Even without the captain's help, finishing her off will be a piece of cake." And then Zoro just dodges the attack by like kind of like moving to the side, kind of like jumps to like his left from what it looks like. His left, not Kabaji's left. And then Kabaji kind of turns back and is like, "She?" As Zoro just kind of like gasping as like his wounds just kind of like throbbing. And then Zoro's like, "Stop now. I'm tired." And Kabaji just like is shocked. He starts laughing. He's like, "You're tired? Are you getting anima? You're finally giving up?" "Well, I suppose it was obvious. I mean, it is a substantial effort you make just trying to stay standing." As Zoro just kicks the unicycle. Doesn't even use his floor. He just takes his shoe and just goes boom. Just kind of hits it. And Kabaji like falls. And Zoro just like is mad. He's saying, I'm tired of being the opponent of someone who has pitiful skills." And Kabaji in a rage just kind of gets up and just like, "Then let me finish you off with my real sword skills." And Luffy and Buggy are just kind of staring. And then Zoro just kind of like channels up his swords. Like he has two swords to his cross and one in his mouth. And he kind of goes, "Onigiri." Zoro's first named attack. And we have a translation saying Giri means slash, and Oni is the word basically being like kind of like a demon. So this is demon slash. And Zoro just cuts Kabaji with 3 slashes. And Buggy he just kind of yells at Kabaji as Luffy just kind of sits there with a smile. And Kabaji's just like, "Damn it. The world's best pirate is at the likes of a common thief." So shameful as he just drops. And Zoro just kind of sits there with taking off his bandana. He's like, "Not a common thief, but a pirate," as Zoro too collapses to the ground. And Zoro just kind of looks up at Luffy. He's kind of like, "Luffy, I'm gonna go sleep." And Luffy's kind of stretches his arm. And he says, "Yeah, you sleep. I'll finish this off." So, end of one of the main fights. Zoro beats Kabaji. And Luffy is looking directly at Buggy. And then Buggy's shocked by this saying, "You mean you guys are pirates?" And Luffy's like, "Yeah. Hand over the Grand Line map." And Buggy yells, "So that was your goal. That place isn't exactly somewhere nameless pirates like yourself can go as they please. So what are you planning to do there? You want to go have a sightseeing tour?" And Luffy just looks at Buggy calmly saying, "I'm going to become the Pirate King." And Buggy just sits there, just like, and then Buggy, in a just from pure shock and rage, just kind of yells, "Don't get around, you idiotic fool! You become Pirate King? Then I'm a god. The person who will get his hands on all the treasure in the world will be me. Don't even dream about it." And then Luffy sits back and he just kind of says, "Shut up. Skip the lecture and let's start. You're being too loud, you idiot." And then Buggy just kind of like has 4 blades in his hands, each of his hands, and he just kind of goes, "Yeah, ha, 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 ha. Watch your mouth, Gomu, Gomu." And then the last 2 scenes of the chapter is basically Buggy just kind of going, "Seeing your straw head reminds me of a guy I knew long a time ago. The impotent red-haired guy." And then Luffy's kind of sits there, he's like, "Red hair?" So, yeah, quite easily with this assumption, you automatically assume that this man has a relation with Shanks from chapter 1. What is that relationship? You just have to wait and find out. But overall, that is the end of this chapter. Overall, pretty good chapter. Concluded a fight with Zoro versus Kambaji. Overall, pretty like interesting fight. You basically just get to see the entire throughout the chapters, like the different like types of swordsmen. Because Zoro is like a pure swordsman in the sense of like he only uses his blades, except for the kick to the unicycle. I will mark a point off for that, but either way. But Kabachi is very much more of like not he is dirty, but he's like very much like resourceful. He uses a lot of tricks in the mix of his swordplay to kind of like go against people. So he uses a lot of different tricks, which makes sense given the scene being that of a circus. So overall, thought it's a pretty interesting fight overall. And then basically again, like Luffy just kind of sits there, like you see some of Luffy's morals as he just kind of says, just like as he steps on like Buggy's hand, basically and being like, "Hey, don't interfere with Zoro's fight." He's very much a fan of just like 1-on-1, not just having like team up and just like basically just like multiple people just jumping on one person. And plus, that's his vice cap, but that's his vice captain, so it's like makes sense. Luffy would defend Zoro like that. But overall, pretty good chapter. And then nice little like kind of like showing how like even other pirates views like Luffy just saying, "I'm gonna become king of the pirates," as Buggy just kind of is like, "You idiot." And then, as I said from the beginning of my little like mini spiel, is yeah, this man Buggy has a relationship with Red Hair Shanks most likely. And that's what the chapter overall pretty good chapter. And then announcement. As I said, unreleased story. The title is called Rise of the Berserker. You already know the detail. However, new information. I have posted the submission for the first chapter. It is on Royal Road. Here's why I picked it. I picked it mainly because of the fact that it's just like it has better. It has mainly just a lot better, just like things and better like community engagement for like self-publishing at least, based on just like new releases. I did say it will be I said Amazon like Villa. However, I just think in terms of like what I would want and what I would prefer, I just think Royal Road's better move for me. But yeah, no, I have submitted it, and I just had to wait for approval. It says 24 to 48 hours, so maybe by like 18, 19, you'll have like an official like chapters like out. So yeah, and as I said, the reason I'm doing this is just because the fact is like one, it's something that I want to do, and second of all, it's kind of like a thing where it's like if I'm gonna review the story, I might as well put my money where my mouth is and try to have my own kind of stab at it. So yeah, if you want to hear like the announcement of this release and further continue to support the channel, make sure to like and subscribe. And also, as I said, follow my TikTok where basically I post like random topics about anime and just kind of yab about it. I also will use it to also side promote my story. So yeah, no. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Make sure, as I said, leave a like and subscribe and enjoy the rest of your guys' day. Later, everyone.